You're listening to the Reds Podcast.
This is episode number 18, and today we are talking about meetings. More and more business is being done online, but the one thing people still like to do face-to-face is meet with each other. That's how to make a powerful connection and get real business done. Today we'll be talking about how to get the meeting, how to act during the meeting, and what to do afterward so you have the best experience possible and get what you need to get done. That's coming up on this episode of the Red Podcast.
This is the Red Podcast. Real entrepreneur development. Make more money, work less, and live a life of freedom. No BS advice that really works. Here's your hosts, David Hooper and Laurel Staples.
Laurel, you and I, we're in Nashville, Tennessee.
Music City,
USA. And outside of Nashville, there's a very wealthy county. It is home to a Nashville legend, a man named Dave Ramsey.
Ah, Dave. We're like this.
Yeah, we know a lot of his people.
Yeah, we
because
don't know
he's
him.
been here. He's got like 400. I wouldn't want to know him. And I really don't want to know him now. And I'll tell you why. Did you see this article about him bringing a loaded gun to a meeting?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like a meeting at the office?
Like a pistol, yeah.
Holy.
Brought a loaded gun just to, I guess it was a prop or something. He was teaching his employees a lesson about gossiping.
About gossiping with a loaded weapon.
Dave Ramsey does not like gossip. Let it be known. He's packing heat, buddy. Yeah, it was really. He's been a local radio guy for about 20 years. I had his book 20 years ago. He's self-published, and I really respect what he's done as far as building that business. But you hear these stories because he employs so many people about the crazy goings-on there. And anyway, that was about the craziest.
Yeah, I've never thought to bring a loaded firearm to a meeting.
Oh, yeah.
It's just never occurred to me.
Well, I know a guy who was actually in the meeting, and he told me, he said, well, yeah, it's true, because it sounded so far-fetched that I'm like, well, I'm going to verify everything, right? And he said, but, he was just trying to make the point, and it's a Southern guy. He's probably, 60 years old now. He grew up around handguns, and he just probably didn't think anything of it. I don't think he was actually wanting to kill somebody.
Well, we're supposed to like guns down here, so who knows? Isn't there a county around here where to live there, you have to own
have to have a gun. Well, I will tell you a quick story, and then we'll get to the point. Drove up to Canada one time.
You drove up to Canada?
Drove up to Canada.
You don't even like to drive to the next county.
Well, it was in Detroit, and I crossed the border.
That makes more sense.
Drove into Canada.
Okay, I'm with you.
And they did a search because I had a Tennessee license. Because I said, well, why was I stopped? Well, we have a trouble with people from your area of the country bringing in handguns. Handguns are not legal in Canada.
Ah.
So there you go. Southern people love their guns, and they apparently love them at One Financial Peace Plaza as well. Wear your bulletproof vest next time you're over there.
Smart.
Well, I want to talk about meetings. Speaking of meetings, and that's probably rule number one. We should mention that. Don't bring a gun to a meeting.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to have a first impression, and it doesn't show that you trust people.
I agree.
I want to talk about meetings because I've had a lot of people. I've been advising some upcoming companies over the last couple or 3 years. I've gotten to that point in my career where I'm an advisor.
Ooh.
And people are coming to me when they want to start something up. And one of the things that I'm always amazed about is just the etiquette some of these guys have when it comes to setting up meetings.
Are you talking about like in-office meetings, conference meetings, coffee meetings? What are we talking about?
No, I'm talking about getting together with somebody who is advising you, somebody that you may or may not be paying for. I'm talking about calling up somebody that you respect and that you want to ask questions to, or ask a favor of, you know those emails that you get, Laurel, where people will contact you and they'll say, hey, Laurel, I'll be in Nashville. I'd like to pick your brain. That's usually a word they use.
Yeah.
Let's get together. Those kind of meetings.
Oh, yeah. Those come in your I mean, when you've been in business for some length of time, everybody gets those emails like, oh, I want to pick your brain. I want to hear how you do your business. I want to meet with you, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk about the way to do that successfully. Not only get the meeting, but also have a successful one once you're there.
So this is if you are trying to reach out to somebody else to set up a meeting with them, what is the etiquette you would follow, basically?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
We are on the same page now. Well, what would you say the first thing is? What would be
the first thing I will tell you is if you're reaching out to somebody, have a point.
Like what?
I don't want to just pick your brain. Say, Laurel, you should do the research. Laurel, I've read your blog, gofireyourself.com. I love it. Love the podcast. I really especially love this one episode. I'm going to be in town in Nashville. I know that's where you are. And I would love to discuss the topic of blank, and here's why. I think you got to be specific.
And I recommend, now that you said that, being specific, definitely as you're talking about in the first email that you send out, because when people send me an email, maybe they're going to be specific in like the second email, but when they're not specific in the first email about what they want, I feel like maybe they're trying to sell me something or maybe something's weird, and I'm not as likely to respond if you don't tell me what you want. Like, hey, we should figure out how to work together. Or, hey, I could use some advice. Like, get really specific about what you want when you're reaching out to someone in the first email.
Same thing for messages on the phone. I get these messages, hey, David, this is John from John Company. My number, 123456789. Call me. Click. I'm not calling him back. I'm too busy. Tell me what you want.
Only a 9-digit phone number. That's why you can't call him back. Can't return that call. Sorry. Well, that's exactly. Whether you're reaching out email, phone, smoke signals, I mean, whatever you're doing, like make sure that you clearly communicate your point to the person.
And I think letting them know, as I mentioned, that you're a fan, letting them know that you've done your research, that right there kind of cuts through the BS detector, because the worst thing, this especially happens with music business clients when they'll get in touch with you somehow and they'll say, so what can you do for me? Don't you know what I can do for you? Haven't you done your research?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is I have more of a tendency to read emails that start out with something personal, that say, hey, just what you said. I like the blog, or I enjoyed, this post that you did. It like hooks me into it. Like, oh, okay, they actually care. They might have just gone on 5 minutes ago and found like one post and just said that, but it does give it that personal touch. And when you're getting so many cookie cutter emails and so many mass emails and newsletters, just to have that personal touch ropes you into that email and makes you more interested to meet with the person.
Yeah, and that's something you can set up a few weeks in advance. You don't have to do this on the first contact. You can reach out to people via Twitter. You've got those guys, don't you, when you post something on Twitter that will respond to everything that you do?
I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't know if people care about me that much on Twitter.
I do. And those people are going to be more likely to get a response from me just because I'm aware of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that you can do. And as far as specificity, when you're setting up a meeting, I was setting up something for early today, actually. I think it's really important to be very specific with the time, the date, location. I give a phone number where people can reach me, because I hate it when somebody's running late and they'll email me or they'll Facebook me. It's like, hey, I'm already sitting there waiting for you. Yeah, I'm not checking my email 24/7. Call me or text me.
Mm-hmm.
So I make sure that they have their email, and I let them know, hey, text me is the best way to reach me, because I'm going to either be driving to our meeting or I will be sitting there in a noisy place, coffee shop, bar, whatever, and I'm not going to necessarily hear the phone or be able to pick it up and talk to you. So this is how I want you to communicate with me. So I think specificity as far as time, date, location, phone number.
And another thing that I do is tell the person that I'm trying to meet with how long it's going to take. Like, is it Especially if I'm doing a phone conversation or something like that. Because coffee, if you're having coffee with somebody, it's generally, an hour or so. But for a phone conversation, I'll reach out to someone and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I'd love if you could help me with this. And can I have 15, 30 minutes of your time? But I'd be really clear about what that looks like for them so they know what they're getting into before they respond yes or no.
And then respect that time.
And then, you got to respect that time. And
you know this line because I use it all the time. I think it was hilarious. I read it in a pitching book. Sometimes you'll talk to people and they'll say, well, I've only got 15 minutes. And what's the answer, Laurel?
Well, good. This will only take 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Or 59 seconds.
That's great because I only need 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that you've got to respect time if you're going that route. If you're saying it's coffee, hey, I'd like to meet half an hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour. I never do a meeting over an hour because, for a couple of reasons. One, because I think the main reason is that it forces me to have brevity and get to the point. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like to have small talk. I'm a Southerner, as we mentioned at the very beginning of this podcast. But, how your mom and them. Well,
How your mom and them.
You ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, that's a Southern thing, man.
Okay.
I'm starting to question if you're actually from here or not.
Yeah, those are all stereotypes. Don't tell anyone.
That's going county on you. Mm-hmm. Regardless, respect people's time. And I think that this is something from the entertainment industry. Leave people wanting more. You don't want to be like that guy who's the very last at the party. Even if you've got something more than an hour, keep it to an hour, max.
Yeah, didn't you have a friend that said she would only go on dates for like an hour and she never had a first date over an hour?
Yep.
Even if it was like going super well and whatever, it was just like, nope, that's it.
Well, that was, and that friend got that rule from me. And that's the rule, is that I've got an hour. It sets them up to respect your time as well. So if the meeting starts at 1 o'clock, whether it's a date, whether it's a business meeting, whatever, it starts at 1, it ends at 2. It doesn't matter if you show up at 1:05, 1:15. Well, you're 5 or 15 minutes late. I'm still leaving. Let's get to the point, because I think it shows that respect and shows that you're professional. If you give somebody too much time in the beginning, it's going to kill it.
So what do you do? I mean, you reach out to them, you say something personal, you set a time, date, give them your phone number, be clear on the time, then what happens?
Well, I'm going to confirm it, and I go probably on the side of over-confirming. I've had people where they'll just send me something and expect me to be there, and if I haven't confirmed, hey, sorry, didn't get the email, didn't get back to you. So I absolutely confirm everything in advance. As a matter of fact, something that I like to do, if I can text them or send them a quick email that morning, say, hey, listen, I'm looking forward to meeting you at 1 o'clock today. Just so you know, if we've never met, I'll be wearing a red shirt and I'm about 6'3", so I'll be easy to find, just in case. So it's not that awkward thing like, hey, are you the guy I'm meeting? Hey, because sometimes people don't have photos or a recent photo, or you don't know what they're going to look like. They've grown their hair out, they've lost hair, they've dyed their hair. It makes it a whole lot easier just to tell people what it is that they should be looking for when they meet you, because it's kind of awkward. A lot of people, I think we're so used to this online communication that we're not used to meeting people, and it's scary for them. So I try to make it as easy as possible.
David, you did that on our first date. You texted me with what you were wearing, including your sandal color.
Yeah, because that's weird. That's weird. I never met you before.
Because you're, 6'3"?
I am.
And we were going to a hipster coffee shop, and I was like, most hipsters aren't very tall. I was like, I'll find you. It'll be okay.
I'm thin, but not in skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Well, it's so busy, though. It's really tough. You say, I'm wearing black.
Well, you said you were wearing a black striped shirt, jeans, and chacos with green chacos.
And why were they green, Laurel?
Because it was St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Didn't want to get pinched.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way that I've found that this kind of thing works best. Otherwise, especially if you're in a busy situation, it's kind of awkward. Hey, you give somebody that look like you know them. They're like, oh, no, it's not you. So it's good to know